This video is brought to you from the folks at Emotiva. Maybe it's time to rethink high-end. Hey, Andrew Dash for Audioholics. I love plasma TVs. I mean, I like how black the blacks get. I think that LCD has gotten tremendously better over the years, but when I come back to plasmas, well, it just reminds me how good television can be. But this isn't a technology review, it's a review of Samsung's latest and greatest television, the PN51F8500. Now this is the best plasma TV Samsung has ever released. In fact, it's probably the best plasma TV that we've ever reviewed. Actually, I'm going to go one step further. It is probably the best plasma TV that you're going to see this year. And just let that sink in a bit. And let me clarify what I just said, because I know that it's a doozy. Samsung is now using what it refers to as a Real Black Pro filter. Now this is a third generation filter that really makes the screen jet black where it's not in use. So when it's off, the entire screen is jet black, not dark gray. When you watch movies, the letterbox areas are jet black. And when you watch this in a completely light controlled room, as we did, the dark areas are right, jet black. And that alone would be impressive. But this panel is actually brighter than any other plasma that we've reviewed. I mean, LED backlit TV bright. It's over twice as bright as the typical plasma TV. And that means, for the first time, Samsung has completely upended my entire reasoning behind recommending LED backlit TVs. I mean, seriously, they've ruined everything. So thanks a lot, Samsung. I mean, what am I supposed to tell people now when they ask me, what should I buy, plasma or LCD? I used to say, buy a plasma if you have a light-controlled room, but you may want to go for LCD TVs if you can't control the light. Now I have to say, buy a Samsung PN51F8500 series plasma. That's pretty much it, unless you're on a budget, in which case the $1,900 price tag for this 51-inch display might scare you off, although it's totally worth it. I mean, seriously, it is. The motion control on this Samsung is more refined. I had less issues getting it to recognize my hand and activate the various controls. And the voice control now uses natural language as well, so I can just say, "Hi TV, find me all Star Trek movies," and it will. Of course, it kind of has to recognize natural language because this smart touch remote control, well, I mean, it has a beautifully responsive touch interface and minimalistic backlit set of buttons, but you're going to find yourself swiping and tapping a lot just to get to even basic features. So if I want to go directly to another channel, I need to pull up the on-screen remote and then dial it in with swipes and clicks. Now, if you do lose the remote, then you can control the entire TV using voice commands, or you can use the one joystick button located on the TV. Seriously, there is just one, and it's on the back. And if you mount this TV, then it's kind of hard. You know what? The point is, just don't lose the remote or your voice. Hopefully your TV likes you. Anyway, the smart TV has been redesigned in the PNF8500 series. There are more programming options than ever before, like HBO Go, which wasn't available on prior versions of the smart TV. And check out the new camera. It actually flips up and out when you want to use it. And of course, you can tuck it back in a way when you're not using it, which is kind of nice. And a lot more, well, comforting. It's great for Skype calls in addition to motion control. Another thing that is sort of great is that you can ask the TV for recommendations in natural language, like show me sci-fi movies, which is cool. Now, I don't care who you are. That is going to come in handy. Samsung's Smart View app lets you watch TV content on your other devices, sort of. Unlike Dish Anywhere, however, the Samsung app only works when both devices are on the same Wi-Fi network, and it doesn't allow anything connected via HDMI to show up on your mobile devices, only analog inputs. So it's kind of like going back to the Stone Ages, right? You know, despite Samsung's enthusiasm over its software, simplified remote, and human interface, I don't think you should be buying this TV for any other reason than the fact that it has absolutely stellar picture quality. As always, I had a lot of movies in the queue for review, including Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone and Thor. Now these are great movies because of the texture, fast motion, and black levels. On Harry Potter, the detail in the life-size chess pieces and the shadows in the children's clothing really had a lot of depth and detail. Even darker movies like this were watchable in a fully lit room. Between this and the fact that this TV is less than 2 inches thick at its widest point, I'd almost accuse Samsung of mistakenly sending me an LED TV. But this plasma is the real deal. Now, Thor showed me that the Samsung's motion judder reduction is pretty effective, but even turning it off yields an excellent and actually more film-esque picture. Samsung has the 24 to 60 frame per second conversion process down pat, and slow pans across buildings and the pinwheel-styled set pieces in Asgard yielded no jaggies or dithering errors. Broadcast shows like TNT's Falling Skies and reruns of Doctor Who on BBC America also looked stunning. This is the best TV that you're going to ever see this year. I mean, your only hard choice is whether or not you can afford it and what size you want. This 51-inch model, or you can go for the $2,800 60-inch version or the $3,400 Cadillac 64-inch TV. Here's my question for you. How much would you pay more for a better quality television that's the same size as a cheaper model? Let us know in the comments below and subscribe to our YouTube channel while you're at it, because it just gives us the warm and fuzzies inside when we know that you like us. By the way, speaking of like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Audioholics, and that way you'll find out everything else that we're up to, including new product reviews and tech tips.